Good morning, everybody. My name is Groes-Green, and I hope that you have all got your coffee and are nicely seated, because we are ready to begin. A little late, as you see, but hopefully we'll make it with a tight program. It's a great honor to welcome you to this conference on intimate migrations. For the next 3 days, a range of outstanding scholars will present their work here at Roskilde University and at the Danish Institute for International Studies in Copenhagen. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Roskilde University, this institution was established in the 1970s as a free-thinking alternative to the rather conservative University of Copenhagen. Since then, the university has been a platform for creative and critical thinking, as well as engagement in the world around it. For this reason, I could not think of a better place to hold this conference, which surely deals with matters that calls for critical engagement. We hope that you, our dear visitors, will appreciate the university and its facilities. We have a nice canteen over here called the Green Cafe, where you'll be able to get your lunch and your drinks. And we have a nice library where you can hang out in the breaks if you need some peace from all the hopefully heated debates. Furthermore, you have access to free internet, and you should all have received a password on the back side of your name plates. Yes. In the breaks, we serve coffee and tea out here in the lobby area. I do hope that you will use this conference as an opportunity to meet colleagues, to get inspired, and to exchange ideas, experiences, and visions. I would like to thank a few people and institutions that have made this event possible. I must give credit to the Institute for Culture and Identity, my own institute here at Roskilde University, for hosting the conference, and to the Danish Institute for International Studies for co-hosting the event. I also thank colleagues at the Center for Gender, Power and Diversity for inspiring conversations that challenged us to widen the scope and focus of the conference. I wish to thank the organizing committee for giving valuable practical and academic input. I also thank the Danish Council for Independent Research that has funded my research and thereby also indirectly funded this event. And then I'm deeply indebted to my dear assistants who have struggled to make everything ready in time. Helle, Trent, Susie, Paulette, and Samare, please raise your hands. I think Trent just left the building, but he's coming back.
Right there.
Anyway, he's right there. Trent, please come in. Yeah. These are the people who will help you get around and answer all the questions that you might have regarding practicalities during the conference. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the great scholars that have agreed to come here to share their research. People have come from more than 20 countries, and many of you have traveled long distances to make your contribution. The leading scholars in the field will present their state-of-the-art research, and doctoral students and postdoc researchers will allow us to get a glimpse of the research that will shape future debates. The title of the conference is Intimate Migrations. But what does this mean? Well, as a start, we may say that intimate migrations involve all forms of mobility motivated by or implying sexual and emotional intimacy. Using this broad definition, intimate migrations span what has been coined marriage migration, sex work migration, queer migration, sex tourism and romance travel, fertility tourism and adoption, and au pair migration, as well as mobilities involving sexuality, love, and desire. But what do all these diverse phenomena have in common? To answer this question, we need to look at the changing global economy and the new political configurations that have at once increased the demand for intimate labor and the search for partners outside one's own culture, and at the same time brought with it a certain transformation of intimacies around the globe. As a consequence, or perhaps a precondition for these developments, nation-states and transnational organizations have increased the regulation of this labor and of these transformations. Nowhere is this more apparent than with regards to migration from the global south to the ever wealthier global north. While some like to stress the demand side to migration and the way people are exploited in this process, others tend to look at the agency of migrants and of the growing awareness of better opportunities in the north, as well as the willingness to pursue them. There is no simple model for understanding these processes. Several structural levels intersect and several levels of agency must be addressed. But recent discussions of these phenomena have opened for a range of new approaches which address how global power relations, economic flows, and culture intersect with gender, sexuality, class, and race across boundaries. Some of these approaches deal with theories of affects, transnationalism, feminization of migration, global care chains, the migration industry, intimate labor, sexual economies, and rights-based or citizenship-oriented frameworks. In this line of thought, the conference will address how intimacies shape transnational migration and vice versa, and attempt to create new frameworks for understanding how intimate migrations are motivated, encouraged, and regulated in a disparate world. Now, different disciplinary interests have often separated these fields of study, while little attention has been given to the cultural, socio-economic, and political practices that bind them together. Poor people migrating to the US or Europe, for example, often share common challenges such as strict migration laws, social marginalization, racism, and risks of deportation. But they also share common possibilities, such as the improvement of living standards, the ability to support their families, and living with loved ones, or joining diaspora communities in the host country. We also need to critically address the policy implications of our research into these matters. After all, are we not obliged to respond to the challenges in the society around us? This critical engagement, I believe, includes not turning a blind eye to the social effects of immigration control, family reunification laws, and sex work and anti-trafficking regulations. Which are the main actors defining intimate migrations today, and how do people experience or defy these regulations in their everyday lives? I hope that you will do what you can to help answer these complicated questions by taking active part in plenary discussions and workshop debates today. I sincerely hope that you will enjoy the next 3 days, and I wish you a good conference. Now, it's a great honor to present today's keynote speaker. She is an outstanding sociologist who has written influential works on mobility and a range of intimate issues such as love and reproduction, marriage, migration, family forms, and new life forms in this age of globalization. We are truly grateful that she decided to come here today, where she will give a talk on the very exciting phenomenon of fertility tourism. Please welcome Professor Elisabeth Bech-Gansheim.